Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the August 26, 2016 quarterly teleconference of the Annie's Project Coordinators and Facilitators. My name is Ruth Hamilton. I serve as the president of the Annie's Project Education for Farm Women Board, and I will at this point go ahead and introduce Carisha Devlin, who is chair of our Facilitator Training and Support Committee. And Carisha, if I could have you go ahead and handle the introductions.
Sure, Ruth. Good afternoon to everyone, and we're so glad to have you all join us today. We'd just like to go around to see who is on the call. So if we just heard from New York, Bonnie, would y'all like to say something?
Yeah, on this side, I have Dave Cox and Bonnie Collins from New York, and I see Catherine. She'll introduce herself, also from New York, when you get to her.
Okay, thanks, Bonnie. And I apologize, I skipped over Adele. Adele, are you on with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Adele Hardy in South Dakota.
Cole, I believe, are you in Wyoming, Cole?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone from Wyoming. We're just getting a rainstorm here, so we can tell you what it's like, except we're at high and dry usually, so it's chilly, actually, not hot. Not like you, Ruth.
Thanks, Cole. Catherine.
Hi, I'm Catherine Brosnan. I'm a county educator, and I work with Bonnie and David.
Thank you. We already heard a little bit from Melissa in Iowa. Melissa, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm Melissa O'Rourke, and I'm really sitting in today for Madeline Schultz. She had called me yesterday, has a funeral to attend to. I've been involved with Annie's Project for quite a lot of years and offered quite a few different Annie's projects and wrote curriculum, and I'm an attorney and farm and agribusiness management specialist here in Iowa. So happy to be with you today.
Glad to have you with us. Next, I have one of my colleagues here in Missouri, Patricia. Well, I think she's trying to talk. We've been having some microphone issues today. So hopefully maybe she'll be able to get through here in a little bit. I have Robin next on the list.
Hi, Robin Salverson, and I am with South Dakota.
And Sarah. Like Sarah has typed a note in chat that Sarah's from Oklahoma and she's having some issues with the computer audio as well. It's not working with her headset, and you're not the only one that's had those issues today, Sarah. I was having them as well too, and I ended up having to just call in via phone. And then next on the list is Susan Cosgrove.
Hi, I'm Susan Cosgrove in Mississippi.
And Willie, were you able to really see a lot of issues with the audio? Unfortunately, I think they may still be continuing, but once again, really glad to have you all on the call today, and please, let this be a relaxed environment where if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in and ask. Do have one bit of news to share with you. RISE at Iowa State has been the organization that has handled our evaluations. When if you're using the online evaluation, it goes to Iowa State, and they've been keeping track of them and compiling them, so we have a broad idea of what the impact of Annie's project is, not only within your states, but across all of the states that are doing it. And so our contact used to be Mandy Anderson, but she has since retired. So Beth Collins is taking her place, and Beth's email address is on the screen, so you can, if you need to speak with her or have any questions regarding the evaluation, you can contact her. And we always ask for questions prior to this call, so we kind of have some talking points going in. And one of the questions we received was regarding social media and how do we keep our alumni connected. And I know that a lot of states have Facebook pages. We at the national level have a Facebook page, and Claudette, our Director of Administration, she has linked on our website some of the state's Facebook pages that she knows about. I'll speak from my perspective in Missouri. We do have a Facebook page that has been used, and we probably could use it even more, but we try to post things on there that we feel would be of interest to our alumni, or just if there's programs that are coming up in the state, whether it's other Annie's Project classes or other classes in farm management, agribusiness, we'll post those. Some other things in Missouri done. I have one colleague that has had quarterly get-togethers programs where he's brought all of his alumni from the classes together, and he's pretty thrifty, and he's actually able to get funds together. But he actually had had another grazing meeting, but he was able to tack this Annie's meeting kind of onto it, and he had Temple Grandin as a speaker at his Annie's meeting. So he always tries to have a speaker, and it's just opportunity for the ladies to get back together and to network. And also in Missouri, we do a statewide Annie's Project conference, and that's been a way for alumni to get back together and reconnect. Are there any other examples out there that you all would like to share? Because I know some states are utilizing Facebook probably in a better way than perhaps we are here in Missouri, or if there's other types of social media that you might be using, we'd love to hear about it. So I'll kind of just open it up.
This is Robin in South Dakota. We also have a Facebook page. We just started a few months ago here in June, but it is actually a closed site. We don't have it open to the public. It's only for alumni here in South Dakota, and we do on a weekly rotation. Each of our team members in South Dakota takes the week and is a content person that adds content to the Facebook page, and so that's been really good. Of course, we always struggle too of getting more interaction by the women, but it's really been good to keep those connections and also promote other programs and other, whether that's women's programs or other programs in South Dakota. And then we still try to go back to different sites and do what we communities with those sites. And so, for instance, we'll go back to Watertown this fall, for instance, and do more of a learning community with those women, bringing the women back together plus new women.
Thank you, Robin, for sharing. I really like the idea of each week a different person taking over the Annie's Project page and putting content on it. I think you always hear that the more you can put things on it and update it, the better your page will be. So I think that's a unique way of getting a wide variety. Anyone else?
Well, this is Melissa in Iowa, and I'll just add that we do have a Iowa Annie's Project Facebook page. We've had that for quite a long time, and use that to promote all things Annie's Project and Women in Ag. I also hear from the counties, and actually the most successful counties in Iowa that consistently offered various Annie's Women in Ag programming use their county Facebook pages with, I think, good results in terms of getting out the word about upcoming classes, but then also posting pictures and events and things that are going on in the programs and letting people know about that. So tends to be effective. Some of them also will do on their pages where they boost the post and zero in on our demographics that we want to promote to, and find that can be a very cost-effective way to get that to kind of be an ad that scrolls by on women's Facebook pages.
Melissa? Anyone else? Okay. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move on, but I would encourage you all, if you don't have Facebook pages, to start one for your state, and please be sure to let Claudette know. And also, if any of you start venturing into other types of social media, we would be interested to hear how that is going for you as well.
This is Robin. Can I ask, we have, like I said, a closed group. Do you guys see a benefit of having an open group? Because are all of yours open groups for the alumni?
Yes, the Annie's Project Education for Farm Women Facebook page is open to the public. So yes to that question.
And likewise in Iowa, our Facebook pages, anybody can like them and then be able to follow it. And I think we would think that way if somebody's interested perhaps in future opportunities, that they don't have to join a group. They can just see that feed or go check that page and see what's new.
Series is open as well, and that's worked for us thus far. Lots of some of the individuals that are friends of our page, they may share it, or we also like to post upcoming classes, not only Annie's project classes, but any other classes in the risk management, farm management field. So it's just kind of another avenue of getting those classes out and marketing them.
Thank you.
There's no other comments regarding social media. We'll go ahead and move on, and I'll turn it back over to Ruth.
So the big question that we have been receiving here lately is about our plan for certifying Annie's Project trainers. We're calling it Train the Trainers. Now, what we've got thus far is a branded program, Annie's Project. It has meaning behind it when people say the name and when they see our logo. So what we're going for here now is quality control, a consistency across the board with the diversity that we allow within the programming. Thus far, we have the program standardized now to train the facilitators. So our next step in this process is the program to train trainers. These will be the people that we send out who will train the facilitators in other states. So, Carisha, if you would share what we want in our trainers.
Yes, we would like experience with the program. So that is whether you have attended, facilitated, coordinated programs already. Really would like, especially the facilitated and coordinated portion, like to see some examples of your participation through that. Someone that has great communication skills that will be able to impart the Annie's Project methodology and really help get people excited about Annie's Project. Someone that will coordinate with the Director of Administration, that's Claudette. And this is really extremely important. I can't stress it enough, but it's, Claudette needs to know when dates of classes are outcomes of the classes that you've had. You know, if you're doing the online evaluations, getting those back in a timely manner. Those that have followed the principal guidelines of the Annie's Project methodology, you know, that safe, nurturing learning environment for women, mentoring women, realizing women have unique learning skills, not setting up your trainings to be death by PowerPoint, but allowing time for discussion, allowing time for some hands-on type of activities. Respecting the branding use as it's prescribed and using the correct logos. Staying with the level 1 is that 18 hours, and you go over the 5 areas of risk management, and we realize that agriculture is very varied across the country, and so, you know, for some areas you might not go over grain marketing, but if you're a heavy livestock area, we expect you to go over livestock marketing, you know, making sure that marketing would still be a component of the Annie's Project, or whatever your agriculture is for your area. You know, if you have fruit production, or if some value added venture, still marketing would be a component, and we would expect that to be in the class. And then using research-based, dynamic, and once again being interactive and letting participants have the opportunity to engage rather than just sit there and listen to a PowerPoint.
So what we are doing at this point now in this transition time for us is we're developing the list of names to serve as trainers. This list at this point is internal to our committee, and it is pending full board approval. And if you would like to be added to the list that I'm going to share with you here, just contact Carisha Devlin. She is chair of the Facilitator Training and Support Committee. This is the list of names that we have come up with to this point, who we would like to work with to be certified trainers. Now, not everybody here is going to want to be a certified trainer, so it's going to be an invitation, and do you meet our qualifications type invitation. But for right now, I think we've got something like 23 or 24 people identified. If your name is not showing up on this list and you would like it to, by all means, contact Carisha, and we will see that we get you added and begin that process of getting our pool of certified trainers pulled together. Now, how the process is going to work is the training for certified trainers will be conducted by Annie's Project Education for Farm Women Facilitator Training and Support Committee. That is Willie Hewitt, Carisha Devlin, Doris Mold, and myself. We're looking at the go-to-meeting format. The meeting date is to be determined, and we will be contacting you as a group with a doodle poll to see what times and dates would be good for a go-to-meeting training program for you. What we anticipate providing the resources for our trainers, it's going to look like a kit where we will provide you with agenda templates, PowerPoints, notebooks, handouts, and then anything that can be loaded up on a USB drive that would be beneficial. There will also be web-based components of this resources that will be available for certified trainer. And then once we get you certified and accepted as a certified trainer, you'll go into our database that is managed by Claudette Roper, the director of our administration. So we've got 2 levels here. We've got people who are requesting to be trainers. That you will do through Carisha. Our second level here is people requesting to be trained as facilitators within states or regions. And so here's just an example of how we handle requests at the Annie's Project Education for Farm Women level. The training cost for us is $3,000. And what we use that money for is it reimburses travel. We pay for supplies for the trainer, plus we keep some of the expense for managing the certification program through our Director of Administration. Now, the request for training for facilitators can come through many sources, but eventually it's all going to go through our Director of Administration and then goes to the committee for approval. Any subsequent trainings that'll take place after we've trained a state, so for example, we just got through with North Dakota here, that will be up to Willie, who will handle in-state trainings, and then that fee in all probability is going to be waived because we're not incurring any expenses to get that one done. So I'm going to share with you here the request form that we've put together to manage all this. Now, what we're looking at is as these request forms come into the committee, we're going to look for opportunities to put regional trainings together, state by state. So it's a very fluid decision that that committee is going to make for us. So as an example, let's take a look at type of training across the top. We have Annie's Project Only training, which we just completed in Illinois and North Dakota. If you would like Managing for Today and Tomorrow training only, we have that option. Or for an extended period of time, over a 2-day training period, we can provide both Annie's Project and MTT, our second level curriculum training. We are going to record the date of the request and then the date of when the committee approves your request. In that request here is going to be a proposed dates of training. We're going to keep track of the person making the request, what position they hold. Are you the state coordinator for us? Do you work for maybe one of the farm credits? And then we also keep track of the first point of contact. So for instance, if someone contacts me and says, Ruth, we want a training in Indiana, I will put myself down as the first point of contact. This gives us some accountability here to keep things from falling through the slats. Then we also want to know where the proposed training site is, the estimated attendance, and then in follow-up we'll write in who the actual attendance was. And the committee will assign the trainers. We like to send trainers out in pairs of 2. I have lines for up to 3 in case we want to train somebody, bring them in as a third trainer in training, let's call it. As I said, the registration fee is $3,000, and then the funding source has to be identified. Is it going to be an internal? Is it going to be sponsored driven? Is it going to be grant driven? And so this is our training request form that we've developed here. And this is the one that Claudette's organizing for us and sharing out with the committee. And then once the committee meets and decides what they're going to do with it, they'll be back in contact with the person who's making the request. So at this point, let me ask.
Is there any?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is there any additional training on training on women managing cattle?
Oh, let's see here. Carisha, do you know anything about that curriculum?
No, I do not. That, as far as I know, that curriculum was not put together by a large by a grant, by a large group of us like the Managing for Today and Tomorrow is. So I think that has just kind of been perhaps a state-specific program that some different states have been doing. So it hasn't thus far been, the board hasn't deemed it as a official next level Annie's Project classes.
And Carisha,
that's what I needed to know.
Yeah, and Carisha, I think what I'm going to do here is for the next quarterly meeting, this is a very important topic. What curriculums have you developed state to state? And I'd like to hear the sharing out of those. And let's make that an item for our next quarterly session. And we'll be calling on some of you to share out some of the stuff that you put together. I know here in Illinois, Our Illinois program just finished, and we're looking at putting together something about taxes, everything taxes. So that might be an example of what we would share out with other states as to what developed as a second level program. So not necessarily any training on this stuff, but just a sharing out of what came out of your Annie's project. It's a good question. So other questions, other discussion. Okay, well, we've either covered it very thoroughly or I've gotten cut off. So, Carisha, let me just turn it back over to you to wrap this up then, if we don't have other discussions.
Well, once again, thank you all for joining us today, and you've all been kind of quiet, so I hope if you do have questions, even if they come to you after our call, please don't hesitate to email any of us. We want you all to be successful and to feel like you're being supported, and that you have the information that y'all need to be able to carry out these Annie's Project classes.
Ben, I apologize. I do have one more question. It's $3,000 for the facilitator training, regardless of the number of people you're training. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
So to conclude our teleconference then, I will let you know that we will be in contact with you if you'd like to be included in our pool of certified trainers. Please contact Carisha if you did not see your name on that list and you would like to be included for consideration at this point. And with that, then, I'll go ahead and conclude the meeting of our August 26th quarterly teleconference and thank everyone for attending.
Please.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, now we can.
Okay, this is David from New York. First of all, I think we weren't booted well enough to see that list, if indeed you did post that list. Or if we didn't, or you can't, will that list be on the facilitator website, for one thing? That's one question. And before I lose you, we're meeting today actually to kind of regroup and solidify our core package, if you will, for all of our people here in New York. And one of our tasks is to work on our websites and so forth. And so the question is, for our New York people, or for anyone who wants to come to the New York Annie's Project site, are we able to add NY to the anniesproject.org address in order to make that work for us? Is there an issue with that?
Logo. You mentioned logo.
Well, Dave, I'm not sure I understand the question. You just want to connect to our website, is that correct?
No. What we're doing is we're trying to simplify a little bit the address tools that we use, and so what we're asking is for for someone searching for Annie's Project or Women in Ag, for that matter, in New York State, can we take your anniesproject.org address, add a New York to the front, NY Annie's or whatever it is, anniesproject.org? Can we do that? Is there any issue with that? Or do you have to do that? And in other words, it's going to take us to whatever page we set up because of the NY, but it still has Annie's Project's name in it.
I'm going to give temporary permission for you to do that, and then I will check with Claudette, the Director of our administration, to see if there's any issues that we have further with that. Partnering up and creating this web out there is not out of the realm of our possibilities. So let's just say a temporary yes, and then we'll get back to you with more solid on that.
Okay. I have no, what was the other question?
Well, the certification, but she talked about that, which we didn't.
Yeah. By the way, Ruth, was that $3,000 per person or per state?
Per state. Per training. So if we train 3 states in a region, it's $3,000.
Well, that makes a very big difference. Okay. Very good. Again, my other question, in case you didn't hear, was if our system needed a boot while you were talking, is that list of trainees posted somewhere other than where you're about to sign off, or is that only posted right here?
I will have it listed on the facilitators. Yeah, I will have it listed, and I'll go ahead and send the list out to those who are already on it.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's per session, the 3,000, correct?
It's a session, per session, yeah. Just one other thing, Ruth, there's probably a couple of items that Bonnie and I would like to talk to you about, but it doesn't have to be today, but it can be another time. And I think it's more, it's more efficient if we just do it over the phone with you, if that's okay with you at some point.
That will be fine with us then.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right. So
this is Ruth. I have one more question. It's unrelated to Annie's, but what program are you using to develop this PowerPoint that you just used, or this presentation?
This is
what did you call that?
Prezi, Prezi.com.
Oh.
It's an online program.
Thank you.
Pretty fascinating.
It is. It's very cool. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, then, I will bid everyone a good afternoon, or, well, I guess it's good afternoon for most everybody. So thank you all so much for attending.
Have a good week.